engine we adore is a really useful engine, you know. 'Cause the Fat Controller, he told him so. Now he's got a punchline to call his very own. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one. He's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine. He's the really useful engine we adore.
One day, Gordon was at Vickerstown Station getting ready to leave the express back to Knapford Station. His passengers were already on board, and the guard blew his whistle. And as Gordon began setting off for Knapford, he suddenly stopped and ran out of steam. "What's happening?" he cried. "One of your pistons is faulty, Gordon," said his driver. "You cannot go any further." "Oh, the indignity. What are we gonna do?" Gordon's driver and fireman began to fret until a long green diesel pulled in. "Excuse me," he asked quietly, "but is this the island of Sodor?" Gordon's driver and fireman looked over the diesel. "Hey, you," they called. "Me? Are you talking to me?" "Yeah, you. Would you mind helping us out?" "I would love to," replied the diesel. "How can I help you with?" And then Gordon's driver and fireman explained to the diesel about taking the express for Gordon to Knapford. "I would love to," he replied. "Let me switch onto your lane." Gordon was immediately pushed out of the way onto a siding so the diesel can couple up to his coaches. And he set off towards Knapford Station. "I wonder who is that?" thought Gordon. "That's Bear Gordon," replied his driver. "He's one of the mainland diesels." "A diesel engine? Huh! I would never want to let a diesel engine take my express coaches. Diesels are mean and devious, and they're rude too. And I believe that Bear diesel is actually one of them too." But Gordon was wrong. Although Bear is a diesel engine, he's actually very nice, kind, and friendly, and wouldn't hurt a steam engine or cause any trouble at all. That afternoon, Gordon was being repaired at the Soda Steamworks as Bear pulled up not too far away. "Hello, Gordon," he said. "I'm sorry you broke down and couldn't take the express back to Knapford." But Gordon wasn't interested in accepting Bear's apology. "Apology unaccepted. For a diesel engine like you pulling the express, it's just ridiculous." "That's not true," protested Bear. "Anyone can pull the express, even a diesel engine like me. In fact, I've seen many diesels over on the mainland pulling coaches like almost all the... All right, that's enough. Now you will excuse me. It's about time for me to get some rest. Good night." "Good night, Gordon, I guess." The next day, Gordon was still getting his piston fixed as Victor rolled up next to him. "Ah, Gordon," he said, "your piston is almost fixed up. And how come you're in a grumpy mood?" "Well, Victor, you see, one of my pistons became faulty, and I couldn't be able to pull the express back to Knapford from Vickerstown. So my driver and fireman asked this diesel engine from the mainland named Bear to take the express for me." "And what's with that?" rattled Kevin. "Well, little Kevin kid, diesels are mean, devious, and rude. And we steamies, along with diesels, don't get along very well." "We heard that," shouted Dart. "And you know something, Golden?" "What do you mean, Dart?" he asked. "Like us," replied Den. "What he means is," insisted Dart, "is that we're diesel engines like Bear, but we're actually kind and friendly just like him." "And you know what they say," finished Victor. You should never judge an engine by their type, including a diesel engine like Bear, for example. Pah, I would say that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That night, as Gordon arrived at Timot's sheds, Bear was already in a spot. Oh, hello, Gordon, said Edward. This is our new friend, Bear. Hello again, Gordon. Bear, what are you doing here? In my spot. This spot? Oh, I'm sorry, Gordon. I didn't know this was your spot. Well, no one takes my spot here at Timot's Sheds. So get out immediately, Bear. And Bear did just that. As he rolled out the sheds onto the turntable and rolled away to sleep somewhere else. The other engines couldn't believe what Gordon just said to Bear. The next morning, Bear woke up from his long night's rest. He was still feeling hurt by what Gordon said to him last night, as Edward puffed up. Hello, Bear, he said. I'm sorry about Gordon last night. He's often like that when it comes to him seeing diesel engines like you. And how do you two know each other? It's your first time here on Sodor. Well, Edward, replied Bear, it's kind of a long story. And Bear explained everything to Edward on what happened to him and Gordon yesterday at Vickerstown. Oh, I see. So that's how you two knew each other. Well, sometimes it takes time to make new friends, especially with Gordon. But I think you two will get along pretty soon, though. But Bear wasn't so sure. Later on, Bear was at Napper Station as Gordon arrived to take the express. Bear hooted a friendly hello, but instead of whistling back, Gordon just wheezed steam crossly at Bear as he set off. Bear coughed loudly from the steam. He knew that he and Gordon wouldn't be good friends in no time. I don't think Gordon likes me, he said sadly to Murdoch, who's filling up at the water tower, just because I'm a diesel engine. Nonsense, chuckled Murdoch. It's just that Gordon isn't used to making friends with diesel engines like you. He just thinks that all diesels are mean, rude, and devious, even though not all of them are like that. But for me, Bear, in my opinion, you're not that bad as a diesel at all. Of course not, replied Bear. Gordon will notice that pretty soon, trust me. Meanwhile, Gordon had woken up from his daytime nap to pull the express. On his way to the platform, Bear was nearby. Stop, Gordon, he said. I got something really important that I gotta tell you about. The bridge support at Henry's tunnel is weakening, so you better be careful when it comes to going over it. Otherwise, it'll collapse and you might fall. But Gordon wasn't interested to hear any of this. Oh, Bear, stop it. I don't need any warnings or orders from a diesel engine like you. Can't you see I'm about to take the express? Now, you'll excuse me. I better be going or else I'll be late. And Gordon zoomed away. He'll be in trouble, said Bear to himself, and he was right. As Gordon was dropping off his passengers on the platform at Vickerstown, he set off and went up and over Henry's tunnel. And once he did so, he heard a rumbling sound. Then he stopped. I wonder what's that, he said to himself. The rumbling sound came from the weakening bridge support. And with spectacular fashion, the bridge support collapsed onto the ground. Just then, the track gave away and the coaches toppled off the line, taking Gordon with them. Luckily, no one was hurt. Gordon's coaches were empty, but they were damaged and all the windows have shattered, and Gordon lay on his side feeling dazed and surprised. Bear was right about this, he groaned. Why didn't I listen to him in the first place back at Knapford? It took a couple of hours to clean up the mess, as Gordon was loaded onto a flatbed and Stepney pulled into the steamworks to be fixed. That afternoon, Gordon was once again being repaired at the steamworks as Bear pulled up not too far away. Hello, Gordon. So, what happened? Gordon sighed. Well, Bear, remember when you tried to warn me about the weakening bridge support at Henry's Tunnel? You were right. I should have just listened to you. If I'd done just that, this wouldn't have happened. Well, Gordon, replied Bear, you know what they say. You should never judge an engine by their type, including a diesel engine like me. You got that right, said Victor as he rolled up. Now you see, Gordon, Bear is a very friendly engine. I'm beginning to realize about this now, replied Gordon. And Bear, I sure am sorry for the way I treated you the past couple of days. I realize now that I should never, ever, ever judge an engine by their type, including a diesel engine like you. In fact, I realize that for a diesel engine like you, you are not so bad after all. In fact, I realize that you like to help others whenever they break down or get into any accidents, as well as giving warnings. Bear smiled. Apology accepted, Gordon. 100% accepted. The next day, Gordon had become good friends with Bear, and he never treated him poorly again.